Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to another video. We're going to be reading the next two chapters in the Archangelology book, specifically regarding Archangel Uriel. And of course, this book is written by Angela Grace. And we're going to be reading chapters 8 and 9. So chapter 8 is titled, Seeing Uriel in the World Around You. Angels move around us all of the time without being known. They may have prevented a car crash during your morning commute, drawn your attention to a beautiful ray of sunlight, or gave you an important thought while you were making a decision. Angels have far more influence over the small happenings of our world than most people give them credit for, and archangels often lead these actions. By recognizing when an angel is present in the world around you, you will learn more beauty, light, and peace in God's creation, and you will see your place in it more clearly. Most people report that Uriel's influence is often subtle. When he influences the arts and sciences, he drops an idea into someone's mind and then leaves, allowing them to think that the idea came on its own. He may also influence our instincts and intuition in a gentle way. Uriel frequently nudges us in the right direction without calling any attention to himself, giving him an air of humility and introversion. Despite Uriel's quiet nature, we can still learn to recognize his presence as we go about our daily routine. By looking for signs in nature, our own minds, and some unique symbols, we can notice how Uriel helps us throughout our lives and realize that we are never truly alone. So, first topic we have would be animal encounters. As the archangel connected to the earth element, Uriel often works through nature and animals as a means of communicating with us. If you live in an area where you do not experience much wildlife, pay attention when you do see animals. If you live in the country, you may want to notice when you see animals in an unusual place or at crucial times, like when you're driving to a job interview or thinking about a big decision. Here are some interpretations of common animal encounters. So the first would be a cat. If you were recently approached by a stray cat, Uriel may be telling you that it's time to take a big risk. Is there something you've been holding back from because the idea of it makes you anxious? Do your research and go for it. A deer. Deer carry a distinctly gendered energy to them. A doe represents divine femininity, while a stag represents divine masculinity. Therefore, seeing a doe may mean that you need to be kinder to yourself or others, while a stag may mean empowerment and forward momentum is coming soon. Rabbit. A rabbit must make quick decisions in order to survive, making them the ultimate opportunist. If you see a rabbit in an odd spot, Uriel may be telling you that it's time to jump on an important opportunity. Raven. The raven, much like the tarot card Death, is often associated with sadness and grief, but actually represents change. Sometimes the change is desperately needed, but it doesn't necessarily bring death. Uriel is likely telling you that you need to change some part of your lifestyle very soon. I am Native American, and one of the sort of maybe wives' tales or folklore is that if you see three ravens, and I think this folklore runs through many cultures, but at least this is how I learned it. If you see three ravens on a rooftop or somewhere together, that means death. And so I always look out for that. And I'm always in wonderment when I see three ravens. Nothing's ever come to it that I know. I don't know if it's like a death of somebody I know or in general, but in general, I mean, that happens every minute of every day. So I think it more is about somebody you know personally. So yeah, the raven does hold sort of a negative connotation to it, although I love ravens and I love vultures and crows. I always have. They're the underdog, and I've always just rooted for the underdog. All right, a hawk. The observant hawk depends on its eyesight to navigate life. So its appearance may be a sign to back up and analyze your situation. You're missing an important detail and need to go back to the drawing board. Repeating numbers. As the patron of artists and scientists, mathematics is integral to Uriel's work. Seeing a number once or twice is probably just a coincidence, but if you're noticing a number multiple times over a few weeks or even a few months, it may be a sign that Uriel is pulling strings behind the scenes. Uriel is also associated with specific numbers and patterns, so keep an eye out for the following. Roman numerals 3 and Roman numeral 4, so 3 and 4. Do you always see 1111 on the clock? Do a lot of your purchases total to $11.11? Is the number 11 relevant in your birthday or birth month? The number 3 or 4 is seen as Uriel's number and is a strong sign that he's trying to communicate with you. Either he's particularly present in your career at this time, or he's encouraging you to sit back and think. Are all of your relationships satisfactory? Do you like your job? Do you enjoy your role in your family? Examine your lifestyle and see what can be changed for the better. And 2. In the world of numerology, repeating 2s are equated with the number 2. This means that if you're experiencing 2 extremely frequently in your daily life, it carries a very similar meaning to 3 and 4. Instincts and ideas. Lastly, it's important to remember that Uriel is the angel of wisdom and knowledge, especially when it's relevant to humanity's progress. When Uriel notices an opportunity for you to contribute to our overall development, he'll let you know. This influence can come in a variety of ways, so pay attention to feelings such as these. Sudden confidence. Many believers say that having Uriel's wisdom at the ready gives them an extra boost of self-confidence, especially if they typically struggle with their self-image. If you ever feel a rush of confidence when thinking of an idea, Uriel is telling you to go for it. Sparks of inspiration. Do you ever have ideas come to you at the strangest moments, especially if you weren't even trying to brainstorm? It's likely that Uriel is behind it. Even if the idea doesn't work out, Uriel likes to give us a push in the right direction. Desire to serve and help. Human progression relies on our ability to help one another, so Uriel will be eager to tell us when this is possible. If you ever feel a sudden desire to help someone, devote yourself to a cause, or you feel pulled towards a particular charity, Uriel wants you to help in whatever way you can. All right, and chapter 9, writing a letter to Uriel. Every single one of the books that we have read has this chapter, but I really like this one the best because she shares an example. And of course, all of the layouts and the information are different. So I do think that even if you listen to all of these or read all of these, you are still gaining a great amount of wisdom regarding each particular archangel. If you've ever had a pen pal, then you already know the intimacy and excitement involved in letters. In an age where texts and emails are the norm, it can be relieving to handwrite a letter and send it out. Even waiting for a reply can make our days a bit more exciting. If you've never had the chance to write to a pen pal, you're in for a treat. You can get the same feeling by writing to Uriel. Writing is an art too, so he will definitely appreciate the effort you put in and will even give you a response. In this chapter, we'll discuss how to write your letter, look at a quick example, and discuss how to receive his answer. How to write the letter. The most important thing about writing your letter is that it needs to be genuine. The content of your letter doesn't matter much so long as you put sincerity into it. You can ask any question you want, vent about anything that's bothering you, or anything else you would tell a friend. Uriel is your friend after all. Many people recommend that you write the letter right before bed in case Uriel's response comes to you in a dream. If you enjoy dream work or often receive messages through dreams, this is a great option for you. Format the letter the same way you normally would, by stating who the letter is for and the date that you're writing it. Include any opening that feels right for you, such as Dear Uriel or My Friend Uriel. Next, go ahead and write out your content. It can be as long or as short as you want it to be. Uriel will read any length of text, even if you write him a novel. As you're writing, you may be able to feel his presence or at least notice that he's watching you. He will wait patiently until your letter is complete so he can read it for himself. When you're done writing the body, close it out with your name and put it in an envelope. You may want to write to Uriel on the outside of the envelope as a means of addressing it and ensuring that no other entities open it accidentally. Leave the letter on your nightstand overnight and see what happens in your dreams. So here is an example letter. If you're struggling to format your letter or to think of what to write, I decided to include this example. Because it's an example, it's a bit short, but remember to make the letter as long as you need it to be. So at the top, she's written the date, 9/20/20. Then underneath it, Dear Uriel. The world sure is crazy lately. Thank you for taking the time to read this letter among all of your other duties. Last time we talked, I told you that I've been thinking about getting an apartment soon. You'll be glad to hear that I followed your advice and I'm looking for a new job first. But I found myself in a tricky spot. There's one job that I really like and I'm hopeful for, but it's taking forever to hear back from them. I have to admit that I'm getting a bit impatient. I'm thinking that I should apply to some other jobs in case this one falls through, but I'm also wondering if I should just be patient and wait for the job that I really want. What do you think, Uriel? Is my impatience a sign that I should be looking elsewhere, or should I wait for a while? Much love, Angela Grace. Straight to the point. And follow up. After writing your letter, you may want to keep your dream journal nearby in case you wake up with new knowledge. You should also pay attention throughout your day for any signals or new emotions that Uriel is using to communicate his response to you. If you're confused about his answer, you can always meditate shortly after you completed the letter to ask for some clarification. After you hear his response, it's a good idea to give him thanks in the form of a quick prayer or another letter. You can also choose to include some candle magic in this ritual if you would like. Many people like to burn their letters as a symbol of sending it off to the Archangel, and this can be done either in the morning or at night. You may also choose to read the letter aloud before doing so. Consider matching the color of your candle to the intention of your letter in order to charge it with some extra power. If you decide to burn the letter, I would recommend keeping a journal where you track the content of the letter as well as the response you received from Uriel. This will help you to notice patterns in his communication and be more receptive to answers in the future. Otherwise, feel free to hold onto your letter for safekeeping. Okay, I did read in the previous video, we read a section on candles, crystals, and dream work. So if you wanted to learn about different candle colors and the intentions, you can refer back to that one. And of course, I'm sure they have information about that online, especially because we only went over about 3 or 4 different colors, but white is always a safe bet. That's always a good go-to if you don't have a specific color you're looking for. I'm not huge on ritual, but I do know that it is very important for some people to have a ritual around things like that. I personally feel like if you're speaking to them, they're listening. There's nothing vastly important that you need to do in that respect, but again, everybody's different, and that's just me personally. I do think that these things can be helpful and relevant, and if they resonate to you, certainly do them. Okay, so that is it for chapter 8 and 9, and in the last video, we will read 10, 11, and a short afterword. So 10 is Reiki with Uriel, which is energy work, and we'll talk a little bit about different ways to do that and what exactly Reiki is. And then we're going to read, what's chapter 11? These chapters are pretty short. Spending time with Uriel, fostering your relationship with him, which is ultimately, I think, the goal, because the more that you interweave him into your life, the more that you recognize his presence and his answers to your questions in that respect. So yeah, I think spending time and forming a relationship with whatever archangel you feel more pulled to is almost your soul's way of saying that that archangel can definitely help you at this time. So, okay, we'll stop right there, and then we will have one more video with the last 2 chapters and the afterword. Thank you again so very much for joining me. I actually just realized that I think today, well, by the time I'm posting this, it'll be February 20th. I've been on making YouTube videos for exactly a year. It feels like just a few days. I really enjoy doing these for you guys. I know I say that all the time, but it's because I genuinely mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I love all of you, and I know that there's so many videos to choose from, so much content that's out there on YouTube, and even just taking a moment to join me, I feel honored, and I really, really appreciate you coming here and doing something beautiful for yourself that will benefit you if you allow it in so many ways. And of course, what benefits you also benefits everybody. It's always for the greatest good. So until next time, as always, I say this all the time, but I definitely mean it. Please take care of yourself. Please take care of those around you. Stay in gratitude, stay in grace, and stay safe. And I will see you all again very soon for our last 2 videos. Take care. Bye-bye.